Hi, I'm Joe.
And I'm Digna.
Welcome to Relationships.
We're a couple having a few. Hey guys, so I just got a message from a friend of mine, Stephanie. She was telling me that today is National Joe Day, and we thought, hey, we should celebrate that because Joe. So we wanted to first educate you on what National Joe Day is and then share with you what we are enjoying it with.
Okay, so National Joe Day is an unofficial holiday. I don't
Obviously.
think, unless your name's Joe, I don't think you get to take off work. But if your name is Joe or a variation, then I think it should be a paid holiday for you. So National Joe Day, it's not just for Josephs. It could be Joes, Joeys, Josephine,
Joan.
Jody, Joanna,
Joe, mother.
And if there are any other names that are Joe adjacent, it's really your day. So one thing, of course, the slang term for coffee is Joe. So we started here with a cup of Joe, and I actually have a cup that I think we got it from a thrift shop somewhere.
In Puerto Rico.
Rico. Yeah, it says Magic Mountain. It's got this little troll. I think Magic Mountain is like a theme park maybe out in California. And it's a cup that says Joe on it and has this little goblin troll. I don't know what he is.
Just like you.
He looks like a germ.
Apparently someone from California moved to Puerto Rico and said, I don't want this crap no more, and left it there.
So we're drinking coffee. We're drinking some Joe, if you will. But it wouldn't be a relation sips if we weren't sipping on something. So what makes this particular cup of Joe special?
We put a shot or whatever of Bailey's in there, as well as a shot or whatever of this coffee flavored liqueur that we found in Nicaragua. 2.5-ish years ago. They had just come out with it. It was not available in the States. We'd never heard of it. But it's made by Flor de Caña, which is their major rum distillery in Nicaragua. And so they came out with this coffee flavored goodness that, I mean, they were just like drinking it by the shots when we were there on vacation. And so we brought back a bottle, and we brought back 2 bottles.
Yeah.
At least 2. And we have somehow miraculously managed to hang on to a little bit.
We've had to skimp on this last one, so we don't bring it out very often. But it's really good stuff. It does go well on a little coffee plus. So let me just go ahead and read. This is from nationaldaycalendar.com. Once again, March 27th is National Joe Day. So I'm just going to read this here. It says, National Joe Day on March 27th encourages everyone to enjoy a cup of Joe with all your friends named Joe, J-O-E, Joe, J-O, Joey, Joseph, and Josephine. While you're at it, don't forget Joette, Jody, Johanna, Jody, or any other variation of the name Joe. If you didn't know it, quite a few nicknames can be created from this name. According to the Social Security Administration, the name Joseph was ranked number 6 from 1893 to 1899 behind John, William, James, George, and Charles. In 1910, it moved to number 5. From 1911 to 2005, it was ranked number 12 or lower. And below there is a list of famous Joes. This list is not all-inclusive. We've come up with a couple on our own, but I will kind of go out there and say who some of these are. So Joe Montana was a former professional football player. Joanne Emerson, politician. Joe Pesci.
Pesci.
It looks like pesky when you look at it. But
really?
He does seem pesky, though, because he's a little fella, almost like an insect. So comedian. I didn't know he was a musician and an actor. Joe Biden, who we all know who that is. Josephine Baker, she was a musician, singer, dancer way back when. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who he's been in a lot of movies. He's been behind the camera. He's also a bit of a musician. Joe Namath, Broadway Joe, famous football player. I think it was Super Bowl III that he won.
I thought you were saying it was on Broadway. Ooh.
Yeah. And Dame Josephine Barstow was an opera singer, or is. I don't have any more information. Joe Gardner, Formula One endurance driver. Joseph Stalin, we know who Joseph Stalin was. Joey Ramone, there's a big one. Joe Green, that was that iconic football commercial where he comes off the field and a little kid hands Mean Joe Green the Coca-Cola, He says, "Thanks, Mean Joe," when Mean Joe throws him his jersey. So it's one of those iconic ones. Jodie Foster. There's our first Jodie there. Joe Jonas, one of the Jonas brothers. Joe DiMaggio. Joe Cocker. He's the one with the "You are so beautiful to me." Joe Fraser. Joanne Cudahy. Don't know who that is. She was a sprinter. Joe Mauer, baseball player. Josephine Lawrence. Don't know who that is. Just a journalist and author. Press secretary Jody Powell. And musician Joe Walsh. So these are the famous Joes they came up with. Obviously, I know we can come up with many more Joes, many famous Joes and all that kind of stuff, especially this Joe right here. I mean, so the ones we came up
at least one famous Joe if you know Joe Yarbrough.
The first famous one not on this list that I came up with was he used to be on Saturday Night Live way back in the day, named Joe Piscopo. He had a big, the skit that you may remember was, I think he was supposed to be... Oh my gosh, Frank Sinatra.
I can't help you.
Yeah, he was supposed to be Frank Sinatra, and Eddie Murphy was supposed to be Stevie Wonder, and they were singing Ebony and Ivory together.
Okay.
So that was the big skit. If you don't remember,
we'll have to add a link to that so you can culture yourself from the
I don't know if culture is the
1980s
right word.
SNL.
I don't know if culture is the right word, but
Educate, edify. I don't know, enforce.
Useless knowledge. Just add some.
Oh, imagine that Joe with useless knowledge.
And who's your Joe?
I mean, obviously, most people know my most favorite famous Joe is Joe Manganiello.
She didn't
He's
say her
so
favorite
dreamy.
Joe. She said her favorite famous.
I said I did say my favorite.
I'm just letting
famous.
everyone know that her favorite famous.
Joe Manganiello from many different things. First saw him in True Blood. Was also in, what was that movie about the dads where they were taking care of the kids and he wasn't a dad? And,
I don't know.
I don't remember. Maybe J-Lo's in it. Anyway, he was in that.
Magic Mike, there's your big one.
He was in Magic Mike. Duh.
He's married to Sofia Vergara, so you can look him up. He's a very tall
No one
drink of
needs
water.
to look up Joe Manganiello. They all know.
And if you don't know,
Now you know.
Digna will tell you
I'll
more.
add a link there as well so you know for sure.
Not that he needs any more recognition, but there is a podcaster with a little itty bitty show by the name of Joe Rogan. So he's got many followers. Maybe some of his followers will come my way. Because, I mean, it's got to be like a Joe connection. I don't know if that's a thing.
6 degrees to Joe Rogan?
From Joe to Joe. I don't know how that goes. But, yeah, so there's another famous Joe for you. Definitely leave us some comments. Let us know any other famous Joes you can think of. And
also vote for mine. Because he's the best.
your Joe. Is it
My famous Joe.
Oh, I was like,
Not
yeah,
you.
no,
Vote for Joe Yarbrough,
am I not
too.
the best? We're seeing the layers peel back. We now know her true heart.
I'm like an onion.
She is like an onion, very stinky, and makes me cry.
Oh my God. I almost spit coffee all over the microphone.
I would have taken it out of your paycheck that we totally provide with this show. So there's the list of Joes. What we're probably going to try to do tonight is eat some sloppy Joes because it is Joe Day. And just to let you know, we are recording this on March 27th right now. So
On National Joe Day.
on national, and we found out about maybe an hour ago. So
Thanks, Stephanie.
this is going to be a rush job. So there will be a lot of ums and things like that I leave in there. And yeah, so sloppy Joes tonight.
Oh, if you have a favorite sloppy Joe recipe, can you send it my way? Otherwise, I'm just going to go get the canned stuff. And it's not bad. It's nostalgic, but it's probably not the best. So if you have a specific recipe in mind, drop it in the comment section, please.
Yeah, so this is going to be a quick out the door. Just to let you know, we are kind of cutting in line. We've made, 5 total episodes right now. I think 2 of them are available at this moment. So we're going to skip in line. This is going to be our 3rd episode available. So now we're going to go ahead and do like we normally do at the end of an episode. This is a little bit shorter of an episode, but Poddex. Brought to you by poddex.com. What is your favorite gadget?
Oh, my favorite gadget. So this is one of those like what pops in your head immediately, and then there's probably a better answer that if I thought about it a little bit. My favorite gadget that popped into my head immediately was our food processor, because we have used that enough times that it's actually now been a little bit defunct and broken. But Joe Yarbrough was able to bring it back to life and fix it because it's a little bit old and we couldn't find replacement parts that were reasonably priced. So that's the first thing that popped into my head. I'm going to go with that for now.
I think as far as gadgets go, I have a, once again, the first thing that pops into my head was in my car, I've got this mount where I can mount my cell phone and charge it at the same time. It's got the wireless charging capability, coupled with the battery case that I have on my phone, where I can be in my car and actively using the GPS like all day, and I still have like 90% battery when I'm all said and done. So my wireless charging capability thing in the car. I actually filmed yesterday, which that'll pop up on the internet today as well. I filmed myself driving around, and I could actually use
safely with this phone mounted.
Yes. Yeah, I turned the phone sideways in the mount, and I actually filmed myself. I don't stare into the camera a lot because I was actively driving, but I was talking, and I'll put that content out. It's going to be on my drinking and driving location. So yeah, that's probably my favorite gadget off the top of my head right now because it's proven itself very invaluable recently.
Yeah, he also does, more importantly, what it's used for. He does Uber Eats, DoorDash, not StubHub,
I just go delivering tickets to people's houses.
Lyft, all those ride sharing and food pickup delivery apps that you guys have got out there. He's been trolling around town doing that, so it's super helpful to keep in contact with his customers. But yeah, so one of these fine days, you might find yourself in Joe Yarborough's car, and if you do, give him a high five. But no, just kidding. Give him a Wi-Fi from 6 feet away because.
Well, I'm not gonna Uber till the COVID thing has passed. But I'll give you a sneak peek. We do have a COVID kind of themed episode coming up. Go ahead and have a listen. Until then, just stay safe, everybody.
Bye.
This has been a Getting to Know Brews presentation.
Music provided by purpleplanet.com. That's purple-planet.com.